Hey guys, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where people get mistaken for being employees by some real oblivious people. So be sure to like and subscribe, and we're getting right into it. You work for a different company? Check me out anyway. I work as a merchandiser for a company contracted to handle a very popular US soda brand, as well as some energy drinks and canned coffees. So for those who don't know, for certain high-selling items, stores, usually grocery stores, but not always, have a hard time keeping up with keeping shelves and displays full, so they contract merchandisers to come and do it for them. Plus, since merchandisers have a more specific set of items to handle, they have more time to make these high-traffic areas look nice. Us merchandisers do not work for the store, though we take some direction from the managers, in my case a t-shirt with the name of our flagship soda. And most importantly, do not have access to any of the store items. I 100% understand why many people think we work for the store. That isn't what this is about. If a customer asks me a question I can answer or help that I can provide, I will help them. If I can't help them, I will explain that I work for a different company, and they will have to talk to a store associate. If they are polite or business is slow, I'll help them find one. Most customers take this explanation graciously and apologize before getting help from someone who can help them. It was toward the start of my day, about 6:30 a.m. The store opened about the time I got there, and the only customers were a couple of early birds getting a start to their day, and night shifters grabbing groceries on their way home. Very few people needed carts. Only one register was open with a small line. I was working on restocking the cooler at the register next to the open one. Out of the corner of my eye, I see CG, Chip Guy. Chip Guy was a middle-aged guy with a cart full of chips. This detail isn't important to the story, but it explains the name I gave him. Chip Guy walks up to me and says, "I am in a hurry. I need you to open another register." I look at the line of 2 people at the open register and say, "I'm sorry, but I work for soda company, not the store. The cashier available is very good at her job and will be through the line shortly." "I don't have time for that. I need to check out now. Your precious sodas can wait 30 seconds. "I'm sorry, sir, but I work for a blank company. I do not have access to the registers. I can't help you, but she can." I gesture to the cashier who had moved on to the next customer. "Dumb bitch. Haven't you learned by now that the customer is always right? Open that register now or I'll get you fired." As I said, I am not a store employee. I do not have access to the computer to check you out. The next register is open. I point to the other customer packing their things and leaving. "And she can help you," I said. "Are you dumb, you I asked you. It is a stupid computer. You push a couple buttons and take my money. A beetle could do your job better than you. This is the reason this country is All you young people are too busy doing drugs, getting piercings, and having sex with whoever you want. And you won't even learn to use the damn computers you insist are so important," said Chip Guy. Just for the record, I don't wear any piercings, nor did I indicate my sexual preference in any way. I also am about to graduate in cybersecurity, but I didn't bring that up for fear that he would want me to break into the computer. I saw the awesome manager coming up. Awesome manager is a great manager, and I knew he would back me up. The only reason I hadn't already called for him to back me up is that he usually didn't get in until 7, along with the other managers. He happened to come in early today. In fact, he was still wearing his coat and bag, indicating he hadn't even been to his office yet. "May I help you?" the manager asked. "You need to fire this dumb bitch. She is refusing to do her job and check me out." "Sir, that language is highly inappropriate. She works for a blank company. She is not wearing a store uniform. She doesn't need to put up with your bullshit, but she has, because she is a good person. If she decided she wanted to work for my store instead, I would hire her in a heartbeat. You have exactly one chance to apologize to OP and check out at the other register. If you don't like that option, you are welcome to get out and get your chips at another store." And Chip Guy responds with, "You dumbass, you blanks are the same. I am a friend of the former store owner, and I will have both of your asses fired." Funny, I didn't see you at the former owner's funeral. He sold the company years ago when he started having health problems. He hasn't had a say in how the store is run since then. But he is one of the best people I have known. There is no way he would have stood for this. You have cussed me out and OP. You have exactly 3 seconds to leave before I call the cops. Chip Guy stood there for a second, then actually left when the manager got on the phone with the cops. Unfortunately for him, he left with his cart, so the manager still got the cops to go after him for theft. Edit because people are asking the same couple questions. The cops arrived after the guy left, but the manager, being a legend, got a picture of his license plate. The cops came and got our statements, and found out who the car was registered to. After the cops left, the store did an inventory of their small electronics section, the only really valuable stuff in the store, because a dude freaking out over chips and running off with the cart is super suspicious. They found that a pair of expensive headphones was missing from the case. Their best guess is that he managed to grab the headphones and somehow bury them in the chip cart, hoping that whoever checked him out would be in too much of a hurry to notice the headphones. Edit 2. Update. The police caught the guy last night. The manager stopped by the police station to identify him in a lineup. The missing headphones were still in his car, along with all the chips. I said I would testify as a witness if they need it, but I probably won't have to. Now, my first thought about this was, why would this guy create such a scene if he was trying to shoplift? But then this comment here actually makes a pretty good point. After reading the edit, I'm betting he was escalating the urgency of the situation, and maybe even exaggerating how upset he was, thinking it might have somehow helped him carry out the theft. That said, as dumb of an idea as that would have been to begin with, his execution revealing the kind of person he is made it so much worse. I was almost arrested because of a Kevin. This happened a couple months ago. To set the scene, I, a 19-year-old male, was walking through the supermarket to grab some beers and snacks. I was dressed in a dark blue shirt, so I see why he mistook me for an employee. This middle-aged looking man, dressed like Jerry from Rick and Morty, approached me and demanded I go get him his groceries, and shoved his grocery list at me. I tried to say I don't work here, but before I could say the word work, he said, "Go do it. All you lazy employees say the same things." I hand him his grocery list back and go to walk away, when he very aggressively grabs my shoulder and spins me around. To combat this, while spinning, I get a punch/palm square on his nose. The palm wasn't super hard, but he exaggerated it by going backwards into the shelf, knocking everything over. He screams, "Assault!" and quickly dials 911. Skip to when the cops arrive. He starts immediately saying how when he politely asked for some help, I suddenly got hostile and punched him. Cops look at the camera footage, which unfortunately has no sound. At the angle we were at, it appeared as though he had only tapped me on the shoulder. One of the officers went to put me in handcuffs, as it appeared that I hit him very hard. Luckily, he had squeezed my shoulder hard enough that it left a pretty good mark. I showed this mark, but the officers looked skeptical. I asked them to look closer at where his finger entered the frame, and you could see that he grabbed and spun me around. You could see the color drain from his face as he realized he was screwed. The cops didn't arrest him, unfortunately, but they did chew him out pretty good. Lady dents my car because I won't help her? Okay, so I got a 2010 S197 Mustang GT for around $5K and I wanted to modify it. My dad is the manager at a mechanics shop, so he let me use the tools at the shop. I put my car on the lift to access the bottom of the car. When I'm about to start, I hear the front door slam shut, and I hear a lady talking about getting an oil change for her car, a 2006 Honda Civic. The desk person sends her back to find an open mechanic. When she starts walking back, I go to work on my car. She saw me looking at her coming back to the work area, and I go to my car to work on it. Then when she came in, she walked over to me and tapped me on the shoulder, saying, "Excuse me, but I saw you staring at me, and then you found a car to work on so you don't have to work on my car." I responded with, "Ma'am, I don't work here, I'm just..." Then she cuts me off and says, "Yes you do. You're back here working on cars, so you obviously work here." "I'm just working on my own car. Go ask someone that works here. Sorry. I want to talk to the manager because you're too lazy to do your job. And you're too young to own a car like that." Talking about the 2010 Mustang GT I got around $5K. At this point, I just go along with their story and pretend I did work here, so I said, "Fine, you got me. I do work here. Do you want me to call the manager here?" With a smirk, she said, "I knew it, you lazy ass." So I whipped out my phone and called my dad, the manager, and it went like this. "Hey, I have a lady down here wanting to talk to you. Can you come down here?" "Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll be there in 5. "Okay, see you soon then." I hang up. "He said he'll be here in 5 minutes, I said. The lady then says with a smirk, "You're gonna lose your job." My dad arrives and I wave at him through the garage door, and he walks in and asks the lady, "What seems to be the problem here, miss?" This a-hole tried to get out of work, trying to say he does not work here, and tried to claim this car here as his. She pointed to my deep black Mustang. My dad smirks and asks the lady, "Would you like the a-hole removed from our lot?" "Yes, at this moment." And my dad then says, "Oh, and forgot to tell you, my son doesn't work here. He just uses the shop for his cars, and that car is in fact his. I went with him to get it. The lady, dumbfounded, with her face getting redder and redder every second, picks up a wrench and just throws it at me. I dodge it and it ends up hitting my car, leaving a dent in the side of it. And she said, "Screw you, all of you." She tried to leave, but the workers blocked the doorways, and most of the workers are about 6 feet each and bulky. It only takes about 10 minutes for the cops to get there, and before they went to the back, the front desk showed the footage before they entered. That's about it for this story, and I sadly don't have my Mustang as I sold it off and got a Jeep. The lady got charged with damage to personal property, and I gave my side of the story and I haven't seen her since. Now what I'm kinda wondering is what kind of backwoods mechanic would just tell a customer, "Oh yeah, just head on into the back and find a mechanic to help you." Sounds a bit sketchy to me, but on the other hand, maybe it's a different country where things work a bit different. Who knows? I should have cut her hair. Before lockdown, I went to the salon to get my hair done. After the cut, the stylist had to leave and go to the bathroom. While she was in there, I got up and was checking out my new do in the mirror and thinking about what more I might ask for. I turned around and Karen was sitting in the chair, and before I could say anything, she gave me her style request. I don't remember what it was, other than it wasn't the stereotypical Karen cut. I said, "Sorry, I don't work here. I'm just waiting for the stylist to finish me up." And the front desk employee came back and told Karen that not only did she need an appointment, she couldn't just walk in and sit down in one of the stations. Karen's response was to say my station was open, and the stylist, me, was primping herself in the mirror, so she must be free to do her hair. The employee said, "She doesn't work here. You need to check in at the front desk." Karen said, "Pshaw, she's wearing the apron of the company. She works here and should be doing her job rather than prettying herself in the mirror." I was wearing an apron with the company name on it. It's the one all clients wear to protect their clothing. While Karen was arguing with the front desk employee, my stylist was done, came out, and began asking me, "Is it okay or do you need changes?" Karen told her to shut up and wait her turn. I said everything was good and walked up to pay. Karen yelling at me the whole time to come back and do her hair. She was still yelling as I paid and walked out, but not before I saw Karen sit down for a cut and have the apron put on her, to which I shouted out, "She's wearing the apron, must be an employee." I should have cut her hair. Arts and crafts were always my worst activity at summer camp. It might have looked interesting. The stylist told me next time I went in that Karen told her that she hopes her coworker, me, was going to lose her job for her behavior. And no matter how many times she was told I was just a customer, Karen didn't believe her. That is it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and also subscribe to the channel for more Reddit shenanigans. So I'm out of here. Have an awesome day, and until next time.